Hey, my wonderful, 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 beautiful people. A pleasant afternoon to you. Beautiful people, boy, I don't even, I'm sighing because sometimes I don't want to say words that I would have to come and apologize on, but, what do I say? What do I say? It seems as if the police officers are not learning lessons. I don't know. There seems to be a disconnect with reality and a figment of whatever imagination they have in their minds. Police officers, let me remind you, you are not the law. You are here to carry out a portion of the law. Whether it is to make an arrest or charge, you can only stop there. In terms of putting somebody in a little jail cell or a lock-up holding area for a time. If there is nothing against the person, then you have no choice but to let them go. Only the courts, the judges, and the other relevant higher authorities can make the decision on the basis of the person's possible infraction, misconduct, or crime committed to say you will be imprisoned in a prison system for an extended period of time. You're here to protect, to reassure, and to serve the people. And what you are doing, you're punching holes in those three amigos. You're not understanding the concept of reassuring the people that you're here to protect them and to serve their needs. Guided by the laws of the land, good and just laws of a land. You are not the law. In other words, if you commit a crime and you're convicted, you will go to prison like the regular Joe. You will go to prison like the regular Joe. You are not above it. You have to fall within it. Now, I saw two concurrent videos. I don't know when both happened. And I was quite disappointed. I was quite disappointed. Two videos of police officers manhandling, really physically assaulting. Are you aware? Police officer said to me, if I point my finger in somebody's face, it's considered an assault. Maybe because I'm intending to assault you when I'm pointing. Because pointing suggests a disrespect of the person, or I want to control you, or I want to overpower you. Police officer was saying it. This is, I don't know if, I think he said it is on the books. But, most people don't look at it because they feel that you have to physically touch the person. But I've often said, they say once you're pointing here or touching here it's one of the highest, if not the highest form of disrespect. And when I saw one, I saw a female officer, I think based on her, I think it was a female officer. She manhandled the teenage girl. The teenage girl seemed to be about, I carried her for no more than, so maybe she's no more than 16, but she has a 14 to 15-year-old look to me, in a sense. But she could be between 14 and 16 years of age. And sometimes people look very young, and maybe she's older, but she looks younger. She ruffled her so much that her hair was ruffled. Pull up. Drape her up and drag her across the road. A female officer. Then there was another one that day, I don't know, I think the little boy may have hissed his teeth. These young people disrespectful. I'm going to touch on that separately. And he must have hissed his teeth, or maybe him said, "Gwe," some nowadays the common terminology that is used. Move from Mr. B-man. Or whatever. I don't know what he said. I'm only just creating a hypothesis. And I'm saying that you understand these young people. You know where they're at. They need help. They're younger, so a little bit more mercy needs to be shown to them than an adult. You are an adult. Even if you're broken, you still are at an age where you have a little bit more wisdom and sensibility than that age. And you fist the man in his tummy, in his stomach area, that he had to bend and grip himself on the ground. And then we got to be kind of shoved him. And then he just went and sat back on the ground because it felt really humiliating. Fire cannot outfire, and you understand that. Let me tell you something. You're going to be wrong. Let me tell you, if it were my son or daughter, I wouldn't come and fight fire. Well, it would be fire that would be fighting you. The fires from heaven above. Because believe me, I would go to God every day to deal with you. Because some of you keep forgetting yourselves. You follow the books. If you cannot, you get out of the service. You get out of the police service in terms of it being a part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Get out if you can't manage it. If you realize your emotional intelligence, your self-control is out of whack, you have none, or it's too little, and you decide not to get help and get training, get out. Nobody's asking you to stay there. There are other people who will join because there are too many misfits. And they want to know mask up on a selfie like people can't find out who you are. How dare you fist the fellow in his stomach? Yes, he's rude. And am I lauding, am I praising some of their behavior? No, I'm not. I remember last year, I think it was, sometime in the COVID period, the heights of COVID, when the students were really rude. They were showing a lot of students really discourteous to teachers. And I remember the teacher was passing and she said, move your sour like, or you stink like, something like that, she said to the man. And he paused and he just walked away. Because he knew if he engaged her, it would not be pretty, especially for him, because he would get the wrong. It's like a car. If the person gets a backlick, no matter how you want to argue it, the one who gave the hit in the back oftentimes will be wrong, if not all. What is wrong with, why would you fist the fellow in his stomach area? Are you crazy? You know what kind of problems you can be causing on his body physically? You ought to be sued. If it were my child, let me tell him, man, if me not sue you, may I go to God. I go to God in prayer day and night for you. Honest to God, I'm sick and tired of your behavior. And I'm not lauding the students' rude behavior. That's for another topic. I will deal with that because I make videos for the specific situation that I want to deal with. Because as the Bible says, no sin goes unpunished. Their rude behavior wouldn't go unpunished. You don't need to punish them. Leave it up to God. How dare you fist the fellow in his stomach, and how dare you lady drape the young girl up and drag her across her and have her hair ruffled? Pull up. How dare you I don't care how feisty and vitriolic their words are. These are young people. And I've said in videos before that someone when somebody at age 20 cannot think like somebody at age 40. Similarly, somebody at 40 cannot think like somebody at 70. I'm talking about you just cross over certain milestone. You change. Just like how I don't behave like how I was when I was months old. You don't hear me? I can't call words. And behave like a baby. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I reasoned as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man or a woman, as in this case, obviously, I put away childish things naturally. So you cannot, how you reason at your big old staring tough age, as a big man, for the one who hit the fellow in his stomach, that guy, he seemed to be between 16 and 17. He has a 17 look, but sometimes they're younger. It's just because of his height. And you hit him in his stomach. How dare you? If it were my child, I could sue you. And I would go to God in prayer for you. How dare you? You think you're the law? And even if you're the law, you don't abuse it. You physically assaulted the fellow, and likewise the female officer physically assaulted the girl. Because if you consider this physical assault, then you touched her, then it's an abuse. You are abusive. You are abusive. Let relevant bodies deal with. You have social services, CDAs, and their parents, guardians, relatives, and so on, that can deal with them in terms of reprimanding them, scolding them if they're off. And if they're grabbing them up, arresting the youngster, you know, like you think you're dealing with your dog or your yard, or your people in your house. How dare you, rude and disrespectful. And I hope they chide you at your place, whatever location you work. Both police officers. How dare you? Listen to me. If it were me picking them, and not bone that drape up and thump up in a belly, I'd have go to God for a day and night. And so no too. How dare you? What did they take this one? They take the joke because you only get a little gun and whatnot. It tell them to go out there, go what have you. Yes, me know the picking of them rude. Feed them go meet for them beating in due course. You don't need to take it over. You need to do what they contracted you to do. Remember, you won't always be a police officer. Your time will expire in terms of your tenure there. How dare uno? Come like you know head tough when I learn. But I hope them really deal with it appropriately where you guys are concerned. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe.